Hello everyone, welcome back to the AniMonolith series where we summarize the light novel That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Let's pick up right where we left off. While Dino was busy clashing with Beretta inside the labyrinth, Rimuru was outside battling Velgrin's parallel existence to free Veldora. And at the very same moment, Feldway finally made his move to interfere with the labyrinth. Something he had been preparing for all along. In truth, one of Feldway's reasons for letting Velgrin tear through the labyrinth was to lure Veldora outside. After that, he and his forces would slip in with a double objective: assassinate Masayuki and take control of Ramirez. This time, Feldway brought only two of his phantom commanders, Zeradio and Cornu. Opera remained behind to guard the Heavenly Star Palace in the other world. The plan was simple but ruthless. Zeradio would act as bait and draw attention, while Cornu would kill Masayuki. At the same time, Feldway ordered Dino to secretly approach Ramirez. To make sure Dino had a way out, his two subordinates, Garcia and Pico, would attack the labyrinth from the surface, preventing it from regenerating. Because if the labyrinth rebuilt itself, it would basically turn into an inescapable prison. Everything was set in motion. But just as Feldway suspected, the weak link in the whole plan was Cornu. Once considered a capable subordinate, even granted his name by Veldanava, Cornu had never been the same since a crushing defeat decades ago. Fear of failure, fear of being discarded by Feldway, gnawed away at him. And in this battle, instead of overwhelming his enemies like a true phantom commander, he fell for their schemes and lost the initiative against Masayuki. Feldway, seething with rage, nearly let his killing intent explode. But in the end, he suppressed it and decided he would personally eliminate Masayuki. Meanwhile, Masayuki and Bernie had just managed to escape Cornu when Masayuki suddenly stopped. Looking back at his companions still fighting desperately on his behalf, he felt a sharp pang of guilt. Bernie, I can't keep running like this. I've always been afraid to speak my true feelings, afraid that people would see the real me. But I just want to be a good friend to everyone. I might be a coward, but I don't want to be scum. Speaking those words lifted a weight from his heart. And right at that moment, the voice of the world echoed in his mind. Acknowledgement of the hero's courage not to run. The third condition has been met. The hidden power of the unique skill, Chosen One, is now released. Do you wish to activate it? Yes, no. Masayuki froze, completely confused. A hidden skill? What does that even mean? He had no idea how to use such power, but still, in his flustered state, he chose yes. The voice of the world echoed inside Masayuki's mind. A new effect was added to his unique skill, Chosen One. And from now on, Champion's Guide would always remain active. Masayuki froze, dumbstruck as the explanation continued. Champion's Guide, the ability to guide the souls of the dead and even act as a vessel for them. It sounded flashy and almost too grand, but Masayuki just sighed. Wait, what's the point of giving me this? Am I supposed to carry my teammates' souls after they all die? That doesn't exactly help me stay alive. Along with this new effect, his skill now had four main abilities. Champion's Aura, an intimidating pressure that unsettles enemies. Champion's Blessing, a mysterious boost of luck that always tilts the odds in his favor. Champion's Charisma, the power to inspire courage and determination in his allies. Champion's Action, vague in definition, but for some reason things always turn out positively when he acts. A whole arsenal of hero hype abilities. Really strong on paper, but the problem was Masayuki had never once been able to control them by his own will. They just happened. Still, he tried not to dwell on it. Turning to Bernie with a tired smile, he said, "So Bernie, let's head back to the others." Bernie gave a helpless shrug, scratching his head. "Well, if you're that serious about it, I'll follow your lead." The two exchanged wry smiles, ready to return to their companions. At that moment, Feldway made his move. Cold and merciless, he drew his blade, ready to cut down Bernie in an instant. But before his sword could strike, a sharp metallic clang echoed through the air. Someone had intercepted him. "Who are you?" A masked girl, clad in shining white armor, stood in his way. "I am Chronoa." A hero. For a brief moment, silence fell. Then Feldway smirked, his crimson cloak swaying. "A hero here of all places? How amusing. Then let me introduce myself. I am Feldway, the Phantom King." The clash between these two began immediately. Red and white light intertwined, too fast for Masayuki and Bernie to follow. No shockwaves, no flying debris. only the relentless ringing of blades striking blades as though the battle itself was unfolding in another realm entirely. Realizing they were completely outclassed, Masayuki and Bernie exchanged a look. "We can't do anything here. Let's regroup and help Venom's team instead." With that, the two withdrew, leaving the duel to unfold. Meanwhile, Feldway quickly realized his situation. Cronoa, perfectly in sync with Chloe's consciousness, was a flawless fighting machine. Each strike she delivered was calculated and merciless. And yet, in the middle of the clash, Feldway suddenly burst out laughing. "Ha ha ha ha! So this is where it was all along, as I thought. Veldanava-sama himself wishes for my victory." Then, invoking the authority of Michael, Feldway issued an absolute command. "Obey me, Hope King Sariel." Cronoa froze for a moment, her sword lowering slightly. Her voice trembled with confusion. "What have you done to me?" But Feldway only sneered. "As expected of the strongest hero. You can resist for now, but it is only a matter of time before you yield completely." And just as he predicted, the girl dropped her mask, revealing her true face. Her cold, beautiful lips moved as she whispered, "I am Sariel. Give me your orders, Michael-sama." Satisfied, Feldway saw no need to continue the fight himself. He gave his final command. "Good. Assist Cornu and kill the boy. I will take care of business on the surface." With that, Feldway withdrew from the labyrinth, leaving behind his newly subjugated pawn, the legendary hero Cronoa. On the battlefield, Venom almost let out a sigh of relief when he saw Masayuki return. It wasn't despair this time, it was genuine relief. When Masayuki had run off earlier, Venom thought the mission was as good as lost. But seeing him safe back on his feet, Venom couldn't help but feel fired up. "I'm glad you're still okay, Masayuki." "I was worried. Haha, don't relax just yet. The enemy's still right in front of us." Venom nodded grimly. He knew Masayuki was right. Cornu was terrifying, too strong. Winning wasn't even on the table, just surviving was already near impossible. And yet, strangely, the sight of Masayuki made Venom feel more confident. Almost like seeing a national flag flying on the battlefield, it sparked hope. Across from them, Cornu froze in confusion. "What the hell? Two Masayukis?" Indeed, two stood before him. One was the real Masayuki, the other Jiwoo in disguise. But Cornu couldn't tell them apart. Both weak, both insignificant. The problem was, if he attacked recklessly, he might kill the wrong one. He needed to be careful. And just then, help arrived. A girl appeared at an impossible speed, her presence laced with a divine aura. "You must be Cornu Dono. I am Sariel. I come under the command of Michael-sama." Her words carried weight. Cornu could sense Michael's power within her. He immediately believed her. "Good. Then take the Masayuki on the right. Don't kill him. Capture him alive." Sariel's gaze locked onto the real Masayuki. Their eyes met. Masayuki froze. "Wait. Sariel? Wasn't she the masked girl who saved me before? How did she end up on their side already?" But before he could make sense of it, something else struck him. Her beauty. It was overwhelming, so much that his fear vanished. What is this? She's insanely cute." Masayuki, forgetting the life or death battle around him, just stared like an idiot. The girl's mask was gone, revealing a transcendent beauty. In fact, she was so beautiful that Masayuki's brain stopped working entirely. He even started complaining in his head. Why was she hiding her face with a mask in the first place? But the danger was real. Sariel's hand was already on her sword. Masayuki could feel death closing in. And yet, in that desperate moment, another thought surfaced. She's gorgeous? But no, not number one. Second place. Because the most beautiful girl I've ever seen is still her. What flashed through his mind was the image of a certain blue-haired girl he'd last met back in his original world. Gentle, kind, mature, and impossibly beautiful. That one was perfect. Even in the face of death, Masayuki was busy ranking girls. But ironically, that foolishness saved him. Because then, the voice of the world rang out. "Confirmed! The condition of the hero's true love has been fulfilled. The fourth hidden requirement has been satisfied. Unique skill. Chosen One has evolved into the ultimate skill, King of Heroes." Masayuki blinked, stunned. Masayuki couldn't believe it. Wait, this counts as love? And now they're glorifying it like some destiny crap? He screamed inside his head, unable to accept this nonsense. On top of that, he had somehow awakened an ultimate skill without doing anything. Why? I didn't even earn it. Voice of the world, explain yourself. But no explanation came. And even if it did, what good was an ultimate skill he didn't know how to use? Serial was right in front of him, and he was seconds away from death. So, with no other options, Masayuki gave up and smiled. It was a calm, refreshing smile. The kind of smile you give when you've accepted your fate. And that single smile shook the battlefield. Protect His Majesty! The Imperial soldiers, who had been hesitant moments before, suddenly roared with courage and charged at Kornu like fanatics. The effect spread like wildfire. Soldiers who had been keeping their distance now threw their lives away without hesitation. Even Calgurio, who had been stuck on the defensive, suddenly felt unstoppable. Power is surging through me, I can't lose! With a fierce shout, he slashed at Kornu, forcing the Phantom Commander to actually step back. Minutes, refusing to be outdone, rallied the men with his booming voice. Imperial soldiers! Let His Majesty bear witness to our courage. His unique skill oppressor should have been useless against an ultimate skill wielder like Serial. And yet, under Masayuki's blessing, it worked, if only slightly. Serial was forced back a step, something that should have been impossible. The vampires too went berserk. Ha 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 ha! This feels amazing. One of the Lamese was laughing madly even as the entire lower half of his body was blown off. Another threw himself into stray blasts just to shield others, grinning as his regeneration patched him back together. Soldiers who should have died were resurrecting again and again, shouting as they fought like lunatics. What was happening was clear. This was the effect of Masayuki's new skill, the ultimate skill, King of Heroes. It granted divine protection to all who believed in him. Those with an existence value above 100,000 could even endure against other ultimate skills, and those below still received blessings of extraordinary luck. On top of that, the morale boost was beyond imagination. It was a balance-breaking ability, one that could turn an entire war simply by Masayuki being present. The battle raged on. For more than 10 minutes, the impossible happened. Kornu and Sariel were held back by the sheer willpower and madness of Masayuki's army. Of course, they couldn't actually defeat the enemy duo, but that wasn't the point. They had bought time. And in war, time could decide everything, because in that very moment, Velgrin vanished from this world. And with her disappearance, the gears of fate began to turn. And that, my friends, marks the end of Recap. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on AniMonolith.